we get a lot of questions that are very specific to a particular situation, like, what about touch football, just for example? Or what about, can my pool asked me several questions about how it might be possible to, like, what are the deck chairs okay, or whatever it is, very specific. So how do you each evaluate a specific, like, what are the rules you're following when you think about a specific situation? I want to help people evaluate these things for themselves. Jen, do you want to start with that one?
Oh, that's a tough one.
You can punt. You can punt if you want.
No,
it's
okay.
fine.
No, I mean, it's happening fast and furious because I have teenagers and things have just opened up here in the last couple of weeks in the UK, and so they're starting to go out. And no, it's a question we face every day because I also have an 86-year-old mother-in-law in my house, and we have to kind of really consider what might be coming in. And then during lockdown, it was black or white, but it's getting much harder. So
exactly.
I guess I'm not super concerned about surface contamination, just thinking about deck chairs. So I don't know. I'm really, in some ways, I'm following the SMART guidelines. We got two of my household got mobile haircuts. We found a mobile barber because they had crazy quarantine hair.
I need it.
Yeah, we sat.
Everyone keeping track of the gray grow out. Okay.
He came. He was masked. They were masked, and they sat outside. And I felt like that was okay because of the air and masking.
That's an amazing solution to haircuts.
Yeah.
That doesn't adhere to many of those SMART guidelines.
Takes mobile pet grooming to a whole new level.
And the kids, and the kids have been seeing some friends, but outside, and they're well aware of what they should be doing. So, but again, I am a bit worried because that's more weather dependent. And once they get accustomed to seeing their friends, it gets harder to say no if it's pouring down rain, like it, often is in London. So, yeah, I think we're all learning along the way, but I think framing those, using those guidelines right now is a good idea. And, weighing the family connections, like it is hard also to tell people to stay apart this long. So I definitely, we are starting to make some, calculated risks, for that human connection. So even the epidemiologists are doing that, I think.
I can give an example from a childcare perspective of something we've done in the last week, if that's helpful.
Sure, yeah.
I have 11 and a half, 9 and a half, and 4.5-year-old boys. The older two are mainly happy to play outside, social distance from neighbors. I tell them 10 feet because I feel like 10 feet is actually, then they end up doing 6 feet. And that's sort of strategy I use with them. They also just are the children of epidemiologists and have been hearing me on the phone and on meetings, and they get it. But the 4.5-year-old does not understand or cannot have the discipline to do that. And we were planning to have him attend a group childcare camp at the local school that's usually outdoors, but is not necessarily a consistent group of kids. It's not clear if that is going to be available or what the sort of safety precautions are going to be. And so in thinking about those SMART, that acronym, we decided to hire someone to watch our kids outside, essentially to keep social distance from them on the days that the weather is nice enough, to just basically be like a hall monitor for our kids outside, to be like, hey,
yard monitor,
you're getting a little too close. They're gonna wear a mask. I brought my 4.5-year-old's train tracks, Play-Doh, sand, all this stuff out onto our front porch, and basically locked the door for 4 hours on Friday. This person also had our dog outside, and just that little bit of breathing room where there's still an earshot. I'm still there to deal with any major catastrophes. But feeling like that was space, a mask, air, restricted, that this is just one new person who's getting introduced into our household, and that it's for 2 to 4 hours at a time. Those were the criteria that I used to say, we have to do something. This is how I'm willing, this seems lower risk than some of the other options that were available.